Hi, everybody. This is Barbara Mayerson from JoyandSuccess.com, and I have with me today Stephenie Farrell, and she's an expert in body um, wellness and feeling good about yourself. So, welcome, Stephenie. Thank you for being here with me.
Thanks for having me on today, Barbara.
We have talked extensively about body and body images and body confidence, and again, like how did you get started in doing this, and
Mhm.
where is it taking you now?
Yeah, so I think, since I was very young, I had some issues with eating and food. And I think I remember since maybe 5 years old, I knew that I was in a larger body as a child. So I knew I was different. And my mother was very concerned. I love my mother. I'm not, not laying blame on her, but at the time, she was very concerned that my weight was quite high for a child of my age, and so she searched and searched for answers. She took me to doctor after doctor, and of course that gave me a sense of, there's something wrong with me. I need to be fixed, or I'm deficient in some way. But there were a lot of mixed messages when I was a child. So she was doing that. She was very concerned about my weight, but then, her way of loving me was kind of giving me food. So I grew up with that kind of sense of, oh, my body's wrong, but using food to cope. And then when I get a little bit older, I fell into a lot of restrictive patterns, and really a lot of troubled, disordered eating. And I stayed stuck there for so long, until I found the methods that I use now with my clients. And they really helped me so much, put all the weight and the body image, all that trap behind me. So, really making peace with food and healing my body, accepting myself, and respecting my body too.
And so,
And so that's why today. Mhm.
yeah, you turned it into a wonderful way to help other women. Now, your own pain,
Yeah, I,
yourself, and
exactly. Yeah, I just don't want other women to feel stuck there. I was stuck there for decades and decades, and I don't want other women to waste their lives, uh, focusing on body image and their food, and being so concerned with that. They have a lot to give the world, so I want them out there giving their best to the world.
that's so commendable of you. And there's so many people that are weight loss experts, but they're pushing the next diet, and keto was a big thing, in paleo, and no carbs and all that kind of stuff. And um, I think, but I was just thinking about somebody that I know that has lost weight on Atkins, and I'm just waiting to. Hopefully, it'll work for the rest of her life. She's a young girl, and hopefully she'll be okay. But like that's what these experts do, and that's not what you do, which is
No.
it's really fascinating for that because that's the last step that people are, all right, the diet, I've tried every diet under the sun and this doesn't work, and you're probably the last person the last thing that they think of. This is not working, I have to find another way.
Well, thankfully, intuitive eating is growing. So I'm also a counselor for certified intuitive eating counselor, and it's anti-diet. So um, you were mentioning the Atkins and losing weight on certain diets. Well, they show that actually weight loss usually is not sustained after so many years on a diet. So that's one of the things too, is that people go on diets and then they can't, stand it. I mean, we're not supposed to be restricting ourselves like that. Particularly like restricting major food groups. That's really dangerous for people. But dieting up and down, weight cycling, they call it, is actually quite um, detrimental to our health. So, intuitive eating is not a diet. It's not that intuitive eating. A lot of people think it's, eating when I'm hungry. and stopping when I'm full, but it actually has a lot to do with satisfaction and connecting with your body and really responding to its needs.
What exactly is
How it looks. Well, it's a self-care method of eating that contains 10 principles. The first one is really reject the diet mentality, which a lot of people have difficulty with. Making peace with food through, as I said, connecting, helping someone connect with their bodies. So oftentimes when people are in diets or have some kind of disordered eating pattern, they lose their hunger and fullness messages, right? It's broken, but it can be fixed. So that's important to know. So it really focuses on that interoceptive awareness. So helping someone connect with their body signals from the inside out. Also emotions too. So it also has to do with coping with your emotions with kindness, because interoception also is that fact. I mean, you can tell that emotions are in the body somewhere. So helping them connect to that and how to cope with that without using food and kindly. So it's a lot of self-compassion. It's a lot of connection. It's a lot of looking at satisfaction and pleasure in eating, because there should be satisfaction, and eating should be pleasurable. It is pleasurable.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So you teach people how to get back to, I mean, like babies. I mean, they intuitively eat.
Exactly. And we
to,
can do that again. Yes, we just need to learn.
I don't know, there's a commercial that I see on TV, and that little girl doesn't want to eat anymore. And her mother's running around the home with, take another bite, take another bite. And like, why? She'll eat eventually.
Mhm.
And like, I'm just thinking about animals, like sometimes my little dog, she ate anything in sight, but a lot of animals, which I was surprised, don't. And they say they're not going to starve. They'll eat when they're ready. And it's the same thing with us. Like we
Exactly. And as
get back to that.
babies and children,
Yeah. But we somehow lose that, some really probably pretty young in our lives.
we
And
do, we do. And it's unfortunate, but there is a way to get back there. So
that's the good news. And like when we say, hey, we'll say, a baby doesn't say, oh, my hips are so fat. And somewhere along the line, it's the same kind of thing, like, loving our body and feeling good about our body. And again, we lose that somewhere along the line. And so you teach us how to get back to that.
well, it also helps, what I do also helps people trust their bodies again.
Yeah.
Right? So body respect, body trust. And yeah, I do help people get back there.
Yeah. I know a lot of people, me included, I have no idea half the time if I'm actually hungry, or if I've had enough. Sometimes I do, but it's really being aware and just like not watching TV or not doing anything else while you're eating, and just saying, did I have enough? Do I want something now? And we're not aware of it most of the time.
Yeah, and then there's a whole thing about satisfaction. So what tastes satisfying? What having pleasure in eating? What environment are you in? And then the hunger factor as well. There's so many different ways that you can gauge your hunger. It's not just that feeling in the belly, that growling or gurgling feeling in the belly. There's so many different things. I mean, it could be your concentration is off. Maybe you have difficulty making decisions. Maybe you have a sensation in your head. Maybe you're just low on energy. There's so many different ways to tell that you're hungry. And unfortunately, a lot of people, a lot of women have put those signals off. A lot of them put them off for years and years, whether they're just busy, doing work or doing something else or caring for the people. They put that off. Or again, if people are dieting on and off or have disordered eating of some sort.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So you get them back to how they do that. Something else I was thinking about today about with exercise, we're so conditioned to have to look a certain way or to be like the models or whatever. So we do whatever we can with eating and then exercise. And a lot of people I know exercise way too much. And to get that back also,
Mm-hmm.
how do people know that they're exercising too much and it's creating a problem?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that's one of the principles as well as of intuitive eating is a joyful movement. So joyful movement, moving in a way that feels good for your body, um, doing some form of exercise. I don't like to call it exercise. I like to call it movement, some sort of movement that feels good for you, that connects you more to your body. Uh, that's why I also offer yoga. I'm a trauma sensitive yoga teacher as well. So I offer gentle movement through yoga throughout my program. Mm-hmm.
So it's finding just exercising or not exercising or doing something you love that makes you feel healthier and stronger, and not connecting it with losing weight or I have to get thinner thighs or something.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely. So it's connected with pleasure again, bringing something pleasurable into your life.
yeah, I guess, and a lot of people, they go to the gym, or maybe not now these days, but go to the gym and lifting weights and they're hating it, but it's saying, I got to do it. I got to do it. I got to do it. They have to lose weight. And
Mm-hmm.
well, it sounds like your program is really, really great. And I know like we are offering your program to our people that they can find on our website, but I'd like to also do some tapping. I know we
Well, that's actually my program on your site is more about just body image. I offer the 6-month intuitive eating and body confidence program, and that's for individuals. But the reboot on that you're as well, offering out to people is more about looking at that self-critic. So we have that self-critic in there. We look in the mirror and we think certain thoughts about ourselves. It's not really us. It's maybe some programming or something that happened in the past. Maybe it sounds like a domineering parent, or oh, look at you, you shouldn't eat that, or whatever that might be for the person. But it can be very difficult to really work on your body image when you have that self-critic in there piping up all the time. So to really help people turn down the volume of that self-critic and tune into themselves. As well, there are some wonderful calming pieces in there. So some meditation and exercises for people to do um, and to ponder their relationship.
how do they start to calm down or turn off the volume? Can you give us
Mhm.
an example of what they can do? Can you talk a little louder?
Sure. So, in terms of the self critic, turning down that volume, well, really the first step is kind of recognizing it's there. So, really stopping for a moment when you hear that self critical voice and recognizing it's here, right? The second step you want to do is really characterize it. So, maybe imagine in your mind's eye or closing your eyes, imagining hearing that voice. How loud is it? How old is it? What does it sound like? Does it sound like you? Does it look like another person? So really characterizing it in as much detail as you possibly can, so that when it pipes up again, you can recognize it, that it's not part of you. So that characterization actually helps to separate the true you from that self-critic.
That's
And
great.
then simply, yeah, and then simply have a guided exercise visualization for people to do that help them kick that self-critic out of their head, help them turn that radio down.
Yeah, I know. I mean, there's so many messages out there, and like when you're criticizing and beating yourself up and seeing what's out there and thinking I should look like that, but then they don't look like that. The models don't look like that, and like how do people get like that? And listening to what you're supposed to. I was listening to an interview by some um, woman who had a comedy show, a sitcom for a while, and she was very thin, But it turned out, and she says, part of it, she ended up getting sick. She had cancer at that point. She didn't know it, but she was very thin. And so you look at her and think, oh God, I wish I looked like that. But she turns out part of the reason she was that way was because she was sick. And I think that we don't go past that. Oh, she's thin. I want to look like her. We don't go past.
Well, that's one of the reasons why it's really never okay to comment on someone's body, because you don't know how they got there. They could have an eating disorder. They could be very sick. It's just, there's so many other wonderful things to comment or to compliment someone on other than their body. That's why, when you look at all these posts, when I've lost so much weight, and then before and after pictures, that's just so damaging, and it just keeps, fat stigma and discrimination cycling and cycling and cycling. There's so many other beautiful things to
And
comment.
I guess the big thing is comparison. We're comparing ourselves to everybody out there. And if they're heavy, am I that heavy? Am I thin? Thinner, she's thinner than I am. Or do they have more money? Or they have a bigger car? It's like never feeling good about where you are in life, whether it's about what you look like or your financial situation or your relationships or whatever. It probably, a lot of that boils down to that. I'm just not feeling good enough.
Yeah.
And so and so has it better. And again, looking at their outside and not looking at, they may be miserable inside, but they look great on the outside. And really just, I think, learning to really feel good about your own life, no matter what it looks like.
Mm-hmm. And that's part of the reason why I tackled the issue of comparing with other women, comparing with other people about how we look. I also tackled that in the review, because I know that's a huge part of really making peace with your body, and learning to respect and accept your body the way it is.
Well, that's great. We have a little time left, but I'd like to do a little bit of tapping
Sure.
and to get on the right track of where we start and where you think. I know we were talking about eating the other day and binging and that kind of stuff, but maybe just self-awareness, maybe learning to feel good about yourself no matter what. Wherever you want to take us on the tapping tour.
Okay, so I know it's a really difficult time out there for people, and people are very, very stressed. People, are struggling out there, and I think with everything going on in the world today, it might just be nice to do a little bit of tapping to help calm, to help relieve some of that stress, that overwhelm, that sadness about what's going on in the world.
Mm-hmm.
I do use tapping a lot with my clients, because it's a wonderful, wonderful tool to help change perspective and change behaviors and beliefs, and also calm the system. So we'll do some tapping on that now, just to
Okay.
help people out there alleviate some stress and some anguish they might be feeling.
Sounds great.
So if you can be my echo, that would be fantastic.
Sure will.
Excellent. So first of all, get a nice comfortable position. Maybe wiggle into your chair, get nice and comfortable, and take a nice big breath in through your nose and exhale it. Good. And another big breath in through the nose and let it go. Good. Let's start tapping on the side of the hand. Good. Yeah, so even though I feel stressed and anxious,
I feel stressed and anxious,
and I feel overwhelmed,
and I feel overwhelmed,
I also feel sad and angry.
I also feel sad and angry,
Even though I have all these feelings inside,
even though I have all these feelings inside.
I choose to love, honor, and accept myself no matter what.
I choose to love, honor, and accept myself no matter what.
Mm-hmm. Even though I have all this stress,
I have all this stress,
all this overwhelm,
all this overwhelm,
and all this fear,
and all this fear.
I choose to love, honor, and accept myself no matter what.
I choose to love, honor, and accept myself no matter what.
Mhm. Even though I'm feeling so stressed out,
Even though I'm feeling so stressed out
and I don't feel safe.
and I don't feel safe,
I choose to love, honor, and accept myself no matter what.
I choose to honor, love, and accept myself no matter what.
Let's go up to the eyebrow. All this stress,
All this stress,
all this fear,
all this fear,
all the anxiety I feel.
all the anxiety I feel.
Mhm. I feel it in my body.
I feel it in my body.
Feel it on my shoulders.
Feel it on my shoulders.
I feel it in my neck.
I feel it in my neck.
I feel it in my head.
I feel it in my head.
I feel the sadness in my heart.
I feel the sadness in my heart.
All the stress running throughout my body.
All the stress running throughout my body.
And where do you feel that stress, Barbara?
In my belly.
Yeah, in your belly.
Yeah.
Okay, what's that feel like in your belly?
It's like a contraction or traction, just, just tightens up.
Yeah, all that tightness in my belly.
All the tightness in my belly.
Yeah, all that tightness in my belly.
All the tightness in my belly.
And folks, when you feel it in a certain place, you can just repeat. Maybe. Yeah, all that tightness.
All the tightness.
Restoring right energy and balance.
Restoring right energy and balance.
To my belly.
In my belly.
Restoring all the right energy and balance to my belly.
Restoring all the rightness in my belly.
Releasing some of that stress.
Releasing some of the stress.
Releasing it from my system.
Releasing it from my system.
Looking around right here, right now.
Looking around right here, right now.
Yeah, I know that I'm safe.
I know that I'm safe.
Yeah, releasing that stress, anxiety, and overwhelm.
Releasing the stress, anxiety, and overwhelm.
From my body.
From my body.
From my mind.
From my mind.
From my soul.
From my soul.
Okay, let's take a nice deep breath.
Better. Better.
Good, how you feeling?
Feels better. As I was thinking that there are things that, like feeling overwhelmed, like it seems there's so many different ways that you can feel overwhelmed, like, with your finances, with your weight, with your relationships, and like just doing it in general, just relaxing in general. And then maybe find out, well, okay, I'm okay in this area, maybe not in this area. So do some more tapping in this area.
Yeah, so people can definitely use tapping as a self tool for immediate intervention when they're feeling really overwhelmed or stressed out or anxious. But really to get down and deep into what's going on, to get to the core of the issues, it's always best to work with a practitioner. They can also help regulate the energy, the nervous system, so they sort of co-create that nice connected ventral vagal state.
Yeah, I mean, I know as much as I love tapping, I know, but there's so many deep layers, and you have to just keep on going and find out, to heal all of that, and what you were able to do, which is amazing, and that you can heal other people, and or help other people heal themselves, and
Exactly.
they can refer back to the things that you teach them, and through the years, because your program is 12 weeks or something. And, so like after that, in 5 years from now, they have said, oh, I have these great tools that Stephenie gave me, and I can look back and remember to do that. So, well, this is great. I'm glad. And like I said, we're helping we've got her body confidence on our website, and you can look into that. But thank you so much for being here and for showing us that there's another way, and things can they can really feel good about themselves and feel great about themselves.
Excellent. Thank you so much.
Be who they're supposed to be. So thank you everybody for joining us, and
for anyone who's interested out there.
huh?
Yeah, and for anyone who is.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you everybody for joining us, and we'll see you next time.